This is an Anunnaki story you've been waiting for, the one you weren't meant to sleep through. Among the Anunnaki, the royal seed of the sky, there is one decree that no one can escape. Tonight we descend to Ereshkigal, Lady of the Underworld, the queen that writes the line that every life will cross. No one leaves unpaid. Keep your torch close as we pass through the 7 gates of the underworld. Her name is her office, Ereshkigal Lady, Eresh of the great earth, Ki plus Gal. In Hurrian, she is known as Alani. Most Sumerian lists make her Inanna's elder sister. Some genealogies call both daughters of Anu. In her origin story, one early hint says the Kur, the primal mountain dragon of the deep, seized Ereshkigal and carried her below, and the lower world itself crowns her its queen. Whether taken or enthroned, the lesson lands the same. The underworld queen is primordial, older than most crowns, and even gods. Early on she reigns alone. Later, tradition pairs her with Nergal, god of war and plague. Before that pairing, one text names her spouse Gugalanna, the bull of heaven, whose death ripples through another story you know. The underworld wears many names: Kurnugi, the land of no return; Irkalla. Its palace gate is Ganzir. A black river, Hubur, threads the plain. Neti, the gatekeeper, enforces procedure. Namtar, the queen's messenger, delivers fate, doom, and plagues. And finally, the Gala sees those named by decree. In the underworld, food is dust, drink is brackish, unless the living send kispu or offerings. Bread, beer, water, and a name. How the dead survive, humans in the underworld. Mesopotamia promised not paradise and hell, but procedure. Everyone goes below, even kings. Equality begins at the door. Then the ledger opens. A tale called Gilgamesh Enkidu and the netherworld spells it out. The well-buried man with many sons sits in shade and drinks clear water. The one with no mourner eats scraps. The unburied fare worst of all. In these rites, names are rations. Speak the name, pour the cup, and a shadow drinks in Irkalla. Forget the name, and a shadow thirsts. Don't blink. Soon we will go through the doors. Now, on to Ereshkigal's first love. They called him Gugalanna, the great bull of heaven, a celestial bull god, not barn and hay. Named in Sumerian tradition as Ereshkigal's consort in the Epic of Gilgamesh, Inanna, scorned by Gilgamesh, unleashes the bull of heaven on Uruk. Gilgamesh and Enkidu slay the bull to protect their people. When the bull god fell, the great below, morning, veiled its throne in black. Inanna heard the news above. She tied on 7 emblems of power: crown, earrings, necklace, breastplate, belt, bracelets, royal garment, and said she would descend to attend the rites, and perhaps to overthrow a throne. Don't worry, this gets stranger. 7 gates guard the land of no return. At each door, a sign of status is checked in: crown, earrings, necklace, breastplate, belt, bracelets, robe, until only the person crosses the threshold. Ready to go through the 7 gates, door 1 opens. At gate 1, Neti takes the crown. "What is this?" Inanna asks. "Be silent," the gatekeeper says. "The ways of the underworld are perfect. They may not be questioned. Kings, shepherds, even gods, all pass the same doors. A commoner may surrender only a shroud. A king surrenders 7 emblems. Both arrive equal before the judges. At each gate, something else of Inanna's is removed. Earrings, necklace, breastplate, belt, bracelets, the royal dress, until Inanna stands naked before her sister's court. By the throne, she is only Inanna, and that is enough to be judged. The 7 judges fix her with a look, and Ereshkigal, in moaning grief from Inanna's doing, fastens on her the eye of death. Inanna becomes a side of meat hung on a peg. Above, Hubur, Inanna's loyal vizier, goes god to god asking for help. Only Enki acts. From the dirt under his fingernails, he fashions 2 tiny, sexless beings, kurgarra and galatur, and gifts them with the food and water of life. They slip the gates, too small to strip, reach the throne, and do what no one else does. They echo the queen's cries. When Ereshkigal groans, they groan. They mirror her pain. The queen, moved by shared lament, offers them a gift. They ask for the hung body. She grants it. They anoint the meat with Enki's gifts, and Inanna rises. Life returns, but no one walks out of Irkalla without paying a price. Law is law, and the scales have to be balanced. No one leaves without a substitute. Escorting Inanna upward, the Gala demand a name. She does not spare Dumuzi, who she found sitting on her throne in bright royal cloth. He runs. The Gala capture him and bring him in Inanna's place to the underworld. At last, his sister Geshtinanna bargains to share his time. Half the year Dumuzi descends, half Geshtinanna, a Mesopotamian way to mark seasons with shared loss. In this court, Ereshkigal is the axis. Stripping makes all equal. Empathy opens a door, and the scales demand balance. Now, onto how the queen gained her underworld king. This tale begins in heaven. The gods feast. Ereshkigal cannot leave her post. No living body abandons the great below. So she sends her vizier, Namtar, to collect her portion of the feast. One god fails to stand in respect. Nergal, the god of war, plague, and searing heat. Anu, the head god, is angered. He orders Nergal to go down to the underworld and make amends. Enki primes him with taboos. Do not eat the food. Do not drink the water. Do not sit. Do not kiss. Do not lie with the queen. At each of the 7 gates, Neti removes a protection. You see the pattern? Not even gods are safe in Ereshkigal's realm. Nergal reaches the throne. In one recension, he resists 6 days and nights, then joins the queen on the 7th. In another, he yields at once. They fall into a fierce embrace, love and sovereignty bound together. Then Nergal flees back to heaven. Talk about a one-night stand gone wrong. Ereshkigal will not be ghosted. She sends Namtar to demand his return. Love is not alone. brought back before her, Nergal seizes the queen by the hair, then kisses her. Rage turns into rule. He takes her hand and sits beside her as co-ruler of the great below. Why him? Because Nergal was already what ends things. War, plague, the searing summer sun that bleaches bones. Later, he overlaps with Erra, the plague wielder who let cities fall. The underworld didn't create his fury, it hired it. With Ereshkigal, he governs the logistics of endings, fever, battle, noon heat, pestilence, and the calibrated return of the living to the ledger of the dead. 2 thrones, 1 realm. But Ereshkigal will always remain the head queen in charge. Without Ereshkigal, these myths would have storms and kings, but no closure. She is the throne even gods address with petitions. In her world, names are food, ritual is water, and memory is a light you send below. See it 2 ways. In the tablets, the underworld is a courtroom, not a horror show. In real life, it's the feeling of losing every badge and still being recognized. That's why this queen endures. And yes, there are doors we didn't open tonight. Curious what fees the 8th door collects? If this guided you down and safely back, tap like and subscribe to keep traveling the Anunnaki Chronicles. Next time we follow Dumuzi and Geshtinanna through the 2 halves of the year. How the goddess of writing and dream interpretation becomes an underworld scribe